I'm back! I can talk again. I can talk. While a lot of other content creators are making their Gen Con, post-Gen Con haul videos, I'm just sitting and going, I can't talk. And now, my voice is back. I'm sorry you have to listen to this, but not. Woo! All right, so you have been seeing a week of post-Gen Con haul videos, and now it's my turn. This is my time. But I guarantee you, you're probably not going to see a more eclectic collection than this. Now, this isn't just Gen Con. This is also games that I received in the same time-ish frame. And just that I'm going to share with you some of the upcoming videos that I'm somehow going to make in the next couple of months. Let's get going. So first up, you might remember this little video. This is Park Life, one of my favorite trick-taking games from this year. And it was also at Gen Con. The finalized versions of the Hedgehog and the People versions. He separated them, and now I'm going to put them back together, and I'm going to tell you what I think about how it went from this to this. And don't worry, all of these can still fit in this little guy. So I'm really excited to share what my progressive thoughts are on a game. Usually when people review games, they only review like it just once, and even though it is a video, it is a static opinion of right there at that point in time, what you were thinking about that game. And I'm definitely going to be looking forward to going back into Park Life and revisiting it and sharing my thoughts about where I think the game is. But if I had to pick a theme for this Gen Con, it was definitely relicensing or licensing games from the East and bringing them to the West. I mean, I work for a BZA game, so Of What's Left became Seers catalog. This sold out at Gen Con. It beyond our wildest expectations. It did so much better than anyone expected. We ran out of the promos, and then we ran out of the game itself. But don't worry, you can buy this online. Completely biased. It is the best game and the only game you really need. But also, Four Clans Conflict, one of my favorite two-player trick-taking games, and one of my favorite trick-taking games of all time, and also one of my favorite lane battlers of all time, got redone and as Lone Wolves. I already did a video of this, and even though it was a video and I did a video, I think when you make a video review, it's still a static opinion, like a static point in time. That's what I was thinking about the game. And my views on this game have definitely changed in that few weeks time span. And I've definitely grown to love this even more than my original video. I think people have a tough time with strength versus honor. And once they make that adjustment and seeing that honor is how you win the game and that you could choose to lose in areas, people just, their eyes become wide and they're like, oh, we got to play this again. And I think that I've even heard people say that they liked it more than air, land, and sea. So this is a game that I really think you should definitely check out. And it's going to be at Spiel, and hopefully more in the US. Before I begin, I think there's an elephant in the room here, known as Mike Dilisio. Mike Dilisio didn't go to Tokyo Game Market, and instead the Mike Dilisio tote bag went. There's Caitlin, who's a big fan of Mike Dilisio, made a Mike Dilisio tote bag, this PNG on a bag, took it wherever she went. There was a nice, cute little Twitter thread. And I told Mike, hey, Mike, I got a good gift for you. There are a lot of games that came out of Tokyo Game Market, but I think I found the right thing from Tokyo Game Market to get you, and I got him a Mike Dilisio tote bag. But you know, when I'm buying the bag, I'm thinking to myself, you know, I kind of want this as a shirt, so I wore this shirt as well. I gave a copy to Chris E, and he loved it. And I remember telling Mike, like, Mike, I have a gift for Chris, and you're gonna absolutely hate it and find it disgusting and be very uncomfortable with it, but Chris is gonna love it. And both of them are thinking, what is that? What is Mike gonna hate, but Chris is gonna love? And then when I showed him the shirt, they both laughed hysterically. And Mike looked at me and says, like, yeah, I would never wear that shirt. But yeah, this is probably my favorite thing coming from Gen Con, and a cute little story. I also want to thank everyone who's reached out to me at Gen Con, who's just stopped me and just said, hey, I watch your channel. Thanks so much for making all the content. I really appreciate it. And man, I'm so thankful to have so many people stop by and say hi to me. When you make content, sometimes you're just like making content into the void and you're hoping that someone reaches out to you. And it was just nice to see that people actually listen to the content, and people actually bought games that I recommended to them, and they were really happy with those purchases, and that means the world to me. Thank you. But now is an excellent time that if I want to say that if you want to see this channel grow more, please consider joining my Patreon. I have restructured the tiers of the Patreon, and we'll be giving away monthly game lotteries. So if you want to be a part of that, please consider joining the Patreon. Also, there will be vlogs that'll only be for Patreon supporters at a certain tier level. And I'll be sharing my full thoughts on games, because sometimes I can't really fit everything into a video. And maybe I'll take the gloves off a little bit and be a little bit mean and share my thoughts on games, because my thoughts definitely change. Even though these are video reviews, they're still static opinions, and my thoughts on a game will change over time. So for example, like Scout, I really enjoyed, and I've liked it less and less, and Hachi Train, I've grown to like more and more. And I don't have enough time to make content for all the thoughts rumbling around in this hair of mine. So please check out the vlog series on the Patreon channel. Moving on! One of the big things to come out of Gen Con this year was Allplay's Tinies selection. They came out with Fairies, Panda Panda, Rainbow, and Prey. Now, these are the first 4 in a line of games. All of these will be $10. Now, what you may not know is that all of these 4 in particular, are old Japanese games. And if you remember Nana, you remember Nana, right? Everyone talks about Nana and Trio. This is designed by Mob Plus, and they also created a game called Cat Poker. And Cat Poker I absolutely love, and it's not the greatest game in the world, but it's definitely clever and definitely fun playing. And I'm really happy that Allplay made this little $10 series of games, because they're able to license these games that are not bad games and put them at a very approachable price point, which is Cat Poker for $10. And it's really funny because Sai Beppu did the art for this, and she also did the art for this. And you know, I think I kind of like this more. Like, what did someone say? They said like, cats are better than pandas, but panda art is better than cat art, and panda art wins. And I definitely like this. Now, I'm going to go through all of these and do reviews of all of these, but Cat Poker is an excellent game, and they also made a game called Dog Poker, and somebody picked it up and will put it into a teeny tiny box. But Cat Poker, Panda Panda is a game about drafting. You're trying to make the perfect hand. In the game, you'll have like the different types of hands that will be worth different types of points. And everyone knows the contents of the deck. And then you're just constantly drafting cards. Draw a card, play a card. Draw a card, play a card. And when someone discards an A, and the cards are lettered A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. But once you're doing that, then if you have the perfect hand, you plop it down. But if someone discards A, like the card with the letter A, which is the most prevalent card, you'll have to do a circle draft. And it kind of creates a little bit of chaos in a very simple game. Now, I do like Cat Poker more than Dog Poker, but I'm curious to see Panda Panda, and what I've seen of the quality, it's really good. Now, the other games in this series are all pretty fascinating. I believe Rainbow, which I haven't played yet, is a card shedding game, and I love shedders more than trick takers. So I'm really curious to try this out. Also, this comes with quite a few cards, so you're definitely getting a lot of bang for your buck. Prey is a trick-taking game, an older trick-taking game, where you're paying like 6 tricks as predators, and you're gonna flip your cards over, and you play 6 tricks as the prey. And I haven't played it yet, but it looks really, really promising. But this box is like packed to the brim and even has dice in it. So you're definitely getting a lot of bang for your buck. Fairy is a party game where you're forced to put your hand on this card at a certain number, and you want to get your finger all the way to 20 to get points, or I believe it's 20 points. And then you're trying to make a guess of like, this is like, you point in different directions, pretending what the next card that's going to be flipped over is. And I've seen Joe from Allplay teach games, but he is really into this game. Like, to an amount where like after we played at Origins, we all looked at each other and was like, Joe is really into that game. Like, he really, really likes Fairy. And it's great to see passion in games. And I do like this as a party game, but I'm definitely going to have a lot of fun exploring these. To continue the trend of games being licensed out of Asia is the original fashion game, which is so amazing. And you can see that this whole game is about having like these cute little patterns like this, and then you put another pattern behind it. And the game comes with tons of these little cards. And you can even overlap them to certain degrees like this and make cool, weird shapes. Well, this got picked up by a Taiwanese publisher, and they released it as Fashion Police. And what's really, really cool about this version of the game is that instead of square shapes, they made all the shapes to all the products. Instead of making them squares, they made them this shape. Why do they do that? So that way you could do all these cool overlap patterns like this, or make all these patterns like this, and you can make different, more dynamic patterns with the clothes that you're designing. And it has like a little bit Dixit quality. There are different ways to play this game, but I'm really happy that they picked it up and really brought it up to another level. What's even cooler is that the rulebook is behind the tray, and there's a little card in here that says, hey, rulebook's behind the tray. And the reason why they did that is so that way when you put the lid on it, you can see the pattern through the box window. And I think that is just super, super cool. So if you're looking for games with a cool theme, a game about fashion in a way that feels like a fun little party game where you either have a theme like going to the disco and then everyone designs something and someone has to judge which one's the best, or everyone has a random theme and you have to decide, guess which theme their outfit is for. Like maybe they're the disco, maybe they're the movie theater, maybe they're the beach, maybe they're going to a horror movie. And it's really fascinating to have this in a different theme. Like there are lots of themes for games. Why not make one about fashion? That's actually about fashion. Next up is My Life Be Like. Now this is similar to the game of life. I haven't played it yet, but from my understanding is that when you see the game of life and you see this nice little board, oh, you go to school, you go to college, you get a job, and you're just hired in a home. This actually has a numbered board, so you get to see your player age from 1 to like 90, and your marker goes up in age. Games like this always make me feel a little bit weird because it's like, oh, I become a botanist, then I become a doctor, then I become a lawyer. I'm like, dude, what am I doing with my life? But I'm really curious to try this out. I really love like nice games with really clean artwork. I'm a big Allplay fan, so I really miss that game design from the Allplay and just how games looked back then. But I'm always curious to see the latest games coming out of Taiwan, and this one looks to be promising and will also be a spiel. Arcs, you better believe I picked up Arcs. Now, this is Cardboard East, not Cardboard West, so I don't really talk about games coming from like North American publishers, but this one is a lot of fun. I love space operas, I love 4X, and I think in the future, if you'd like to see it, I can talk more about games from the West that really excite me and define my tastes. But I really can't wait to tear into this. So you'll never see me make content for it, but you'll hear me talk about it. And if you see me in the future like, Jay, do you want to play Arcs? I will say, yes, please, let's do it. I have so many games that are upcoming Kickstarter games. Things that people did not pick up at Gen Con because they couldn't. There were just press releases that were given to me, and then I'm going to make content for them. One of those is Ultimate Voyage, which is about the Ming Dynasty treasure ships leaving ancient China, moving all the way from like China. Some of them even made it all the way to Yemen. Like it was wild that these massive, massive ships sail that far. And this is what this game is about. Now this is going to be like a medium weight strategy game. And from what I can tell, like the artwork looks fantastic. It looks super fiddly and fun. So I can't wait to tear into this and share my thoughts about this game with all of you. Another game that's coming to Kickstarter that no one else picked a copy of is Mon. Now I know very little about Mon. I do know that it's by Studio Mundi, who has made a lot of games that I've liked from Japan. So I'm definitely looking forward to ripping this open and trying it out and sharing my thoughts with you because it looks like a very nice, simple trick-taking game. What I love about some of these games is that I'll get this. Look at this. These are the rules for the game. No rules. But I can tell you that this has an 8-page rule set, so that looks quite promising. But man, oh man, like the quality of the card art in here and the components is wow, nice. Lots of gold foil. Gold foil. Woo! The Japanese Pavilion. Japan goes to Gen Con. They're at booth 270 this past year, and it was just a collection of different publishers from Japan all sharing a booth and some of their things. One of the things that they brought was Beverage, which is a worker placement area control game about soda pop companies vying to have like the best reputation and be the sole soda pop sold in a stadium that's being built. Now, this game is extremely tight, and I'm very excited to share my thoughts about it in the future with all of you. Woohoo! And I do want to add that I love games that come with little 3D components, and this one comes with a 3D vending machine. What? You do kind of have to take it apart to make sure it fits in the box, and that kind of wrinkles my soul a little bit. But moving on. Now, if you've been watching Cardboard East for a while, then you know that I am madly in love with Shinjuku. I got to meet the designer there. I got to meet one of the people that has brought it over to Italy. Now, Shinjuku is a fantastic pick up and delivery game. And it has a kaiju mechanic, like all pick up and delivery games desperately need. And while this had a limited release at Tokyo Game Market last year, and I believe earlier this year, there is going to be a Kickstarter version available, and this is what it looks like. It went from this to this. And I will tell you, my number one word for this is chunky, because the bits in this went from teeny tiny to big and chunky, and it looks great. Also, the biggest problem that I had with the Japanese release is that they put silkscreen printed white onto yellow components, and it was really, really hard to read these components. That is gone, because now you have kind of like a mustard yellow and white on top of that, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. The UI looks a lot cleaner. The map looks a lot cleaner. So I am really excited to tear into this and share my thoughts on it, because I love this game already. This, I said, is my favorite game for 2024, and now it's only gotten better. Look at that cover art. Oh my gosh. More games from Cardboard West, and that is River Valley from Allplay. Allplay gave me this, and you know what? I'm really glad that Allplay now has a mascot, because any game that has a platypus and an otter with top hats, I'm gonna play. River Valley Glassworks Valley Glassworks is a game where players are these animals, and they're like not just panning for gold, but they're panning for glass in the river, and they're anthropomorphic animals, and you can be a platypus with a top hat. I mean, these are your life goals here, people. I'm really looking forward to tearing into this game. But the biggest news, I think, from Gen Con is Yokohama, the new version. Now, this is, this was controversial. A lot of people says like, oh, I mean, I already have the deluxe edition. So here we are, the deluxe edition. Do I really need this? And I'm gonna make an upcoming video comparing these two and answering that question for you, because a lot of people have been asking that question online. It's like, I have this. Do I need this in my life? And I will tell you that, spoiler alert, the art here is a definite upgrade. This is very functional and looks nice, but oh man, the components in this are really nice. I mean, I was thinking, you know, dual layered player boards are kind of nice, but do I really need them? And after playing a game, I think, yeah, I really need it in my life. This is really gorgeous. This is a very fantastic. And you don't have to pay extra to have a nice insert, because a nice insert exists with this version. I had to pay for a nice heavy wooden insert just for this. But we'll get into that and all the controversial changes that they made in an upcoming video. Either way, if you've never played Yokohama, second best game to ever come out of Japan. That good. Really good. Also, I gotta mention that the Yokohama premium tokens are worth it. If you're gonna get Yokohama, just go ahead and get these premium tokens, because yeah, they're nice. They're really nice. Now, some people say, like, do you like this more than the Yokohama Deluxeified version for the TMG Deluxeified version? And I'm gonna say yes. These have silk screened components, and the other ones weren't. So obviously these automatically win on that regard. However, I think I like the money from the TMG version a little bit more. These are a little thinner, and the ones from the TMG version were nice and thick and had a really heavy weight to them. So I think I like the resource tokens more in this, but I like the money more in the TMG version. So doesn't help. But the monies in here are really good. Like they're really nice, good, solid weight. You can't go wrong. And if you don't own Yokohama, you gotta get it. You gotta get it. You gotta get it. More classics coming up, and that is Yin Yang was also at Gen Con. If I had known that, I probably would have told you to stop everything that you're doing and go get this game, because this game rocks, and it broke my heart that I had to sell it moving over here. And I'm so glad I picked up another copy because it's so good. If you're unfamiliar with this game, this is a game where you are a monk wandering around ancient China spreading Taoism across the land. There is a little bit of programming where you have to put your coins a certain way, and so you'll move by land, move by sea, build a temple, pick something up, drop it off, and hopefully things go your way. This is mostly known as the metal turtle shell game because, wow, that's metal, and it's in here. This is the base game. The base game comes with this, and it comes with all these coins. Metal coins. And you put these metal coins in here, and you shake it up, and you drop it out. And they didn't have to do that, but thank you so much for doing it because, woo, it makes the game sing. If you're curious about this, Heavy Cardboard did a playthrough of it, and I think they did an excellent job of it. And that'll give you a really good idea of just how amazing this game is. And did I mention that we have upcoming Kickstarters in this video? Because yeah, we do. We have Biomes of Nilgiris. I don't know much about this game. I know nothing about this game. It comes from India. And this, and the publisher, Senan Chand, has made some amazing games. He has designed just a few games, and all of them have been super, super solid. Upcoming designer in the world. He made this game, so I'm super curious to try it. I don't know much about this game. All I know is that you're going to this area to look at plants and animals. They have asymmetric powers, and from what I can tell, and I've punched it out, it looks really good. And there's going to be an upcoming Kickstarter coming soon, and look out for that video because I'll be talking all about this game and how it looks to be really good. Next one coming up is Minecart Town. Now, this is a reprint of, or re-implementation of an older Japanese game called My Trolley Town. And this looks so much better. They upgraded the art to make it look nice and clean. The old score track had a little zigzag thing going on for the old school. This one is a nice score track that goes around the board. This is a pick up and deliver game, but more a deliver game. You are drafting tiles and you're making your own tableau, and you have things that produce resources, and then you're using the tracks to deliver the resources to other places. And if you have X amount of resources and things are using the resources, and you can upgrade those tiles to like nicer buildings. And it's an incredibly tight game, and it plays solo to 4, I want to say. Yes, 4. This is another one of these games that comes with a blank rulebook. They sent me rules for PDF. This rulebook, I can tell you, is going to be 12 pages long. So not too heavy of a game. And already the components inside here are really nice. You get these nice drawbags, A, B, and C, really nice tiles. This is going to be a really killer game. This is going to be a nice version of a cool game. And the art is done by Sai Beppu, who has a lot of range as an artist. And I think people kind of underestimate her and what she does. And if you don't know who Sai Beppu is, check out my review of Grim Reaper Preschool, where I talk about how much of a force she is. She's basically the Ian O'Toole in Japan. Like every year she does I don't know, a third or a half the games at Tokyo Game Market. Boom, wow. Whew. And that has been all the games I picked up at Gen Con. But these aren't all the games that I played at Gen Con. There are some really cool games that I would love to talk to you about, but I can't because I agree that I wouldn't talk about that, but I think I might tell my Patreons. But you'll have to be a Patreon to see that video and hear me talk about all these cool games coming out, because I can't wait to tell you about them. Whoo, they're rad. Once again, my name is Jay. I play board games from Asia and share what I find with all of you. If you like this video, please think about liking and subscribing and joining the Patreon to help the channel grow. I'm also going to put a link over here to a video that I think you'll enjoy. See you there.